So just a quick overview before we get right into it. We're going to talk about Women's World Cup and legacy. What does that actually mean? And we've been talking about that for a long time as well. So when we're talking about the world of equity as well, at the moment, it's more than just getting our women and girls pitch access, getting our women on the committees, making sure we have programs that kids can come and join. It's a lot about, if we run with an inequitable society for much longer, we're not going to break down the barriers. So when we're talking about all of that, and I thank you immensely for being in the room here tonight, because I know you are all committed, that we have to continue to make change. Our funding at the moment, for those, we have a number of change maker clubs in the room, as well as our Game Changer program clubs too. Our Change Makers program, which is working directly with our committees and identifying any of the inequity that is in the club room. And if you haven't joined that yet, I'm asking you to please get on board with that. But it is funded through the Preventing Violence Against Women funding at the moment through state government. And when you start to dig a little bit deeper about, you know, what does equity mean and what is the impacts of inequity, you can actually really see why we have, you know, incidents in society that make it tough for everybody. So we're not just talking women, we're talking about families, we're talking about kids, we're talking about the world. So when we've got this huge, big Women's World Cup heading our way and an opportunity to actually really make a difference and create a legacy out of that, so we know we will get a flood of people being inspired by watching our game out on the big screens around the world. So how do we actually utilise that month to actually create long-term sustainable change for football? So where we don't have pitch access or we're running a seasonal game, start to think a little bit differently. Start to think beyond what we do traditionally. And it was only a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, and we do have this club in the room, but I won't point you out. And we talked about the end of the season, and their problem at the moment is they have too many girls. And we actually spoke about what a great problem to have. It's like we can't get them on the pitch. So what we have now, which is an absolute bonus for football, is futsal is a state sporting association under us. Futsal runs 12 months of the year. When they run futsal in Europe, that is the first entry level to football. They do it the other way around. It gives you an opportunity to keep continuing to work with our kids, particularly, and keep their skill set going in the off season. And it's like you can actually enter as your clubs into futsal. We have affiliated futsal clubs that now sit underneath us. And so what we're trying to do now, our narrative when we're talking about football, it includes futsal. So we've got two streams of our game, indoor and outdoor, that we can be running all the way. And this is actually a really good growth strategy for football. So it's just another thing to think about. We're going to go into our game, and we're going to go into the Game Changer overview and where that currently is, and then we will have a panel for you, an opportunity as well after our questions to the panel, but for the floor to ask any questions of any of us. So I won't hold it up anymore. I'm going to hand over to Carly.
Hi everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. For those of you I haven't met, Carly Milliken, I'm the General Manager of World Cup Legacy Programs at Football Australia. So what that means in my day-to-day is I am thinking about the legacy of this amazing event that we have coming to our shores in just 59 days, which is exciting and terrifying at the same time. But, you know, when we talk about legacy, it's more than just the event itself. It's everything that Karen spoke about. It's about sustainable change. It's striving for our goal of 50-50 gender parity by 2027. And in order for us to do that, we really need to challenge the way that we're currently operating and really push those boundaries so we can create some fantastic environments that really welcome women and girls into our game. I also wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone for being here tonight, particularly on a Monday night. It was Volunteers Week last week, so thank you again for everyone who volunteers in our game to really make it what it is. Special shout out to all the women and girls in the room as it is Female Football Week. So thank you very much for everything that you do. We're all about celebrating women and girls in football, and really, whilst we want to do that every day, we want to profile and highlight that specifically during this week. But before I go into it, I wanted to show a story that was recently published on our Game channels. If you don't follow already, please follow at Our Game Oz on Instagram and Twitter. Really, the whole platform is about elevating and profiling women across our sport and putting them on a national platform so that we can create change more broadly. So with that, I'll let you watch the video.
Say I'm going to be the next female president of FIFA, the first female president of FIFA, but in saying that, I kind of want to see where the path takes me. So today we're making spanakopita. This isn't just about cooking, this is about passing on a generation of my family's knowledge, so very important. Football's always been in my family for as long as I can remember. My sister, my grandfather watches it, my papa, he watches it. It's fundamental in the existence of my growth. I think being a female in this game alone is very tough. Part of the issue is a lot of girls don't know that they can work in football. I didn't even know I could work in this game until I met Tim Gale. I remember him saying to me at the time, "Why don't you work in this game?" That has never even occurred to me that I could work in football. We need more women in administration. We need more female CEOs, we need more female management. Stepping onto the field and hearing female footballer, female coach, female referee was always very frustrating. I became the vice president of my club and I really wanted female cut uniforms. We have women that have fallen pregnant, we've got women who are like all different sizes in our teams, in our club. Half the battle is to make sure everyone feels comfortable, right? If nobody's feeling welcome, I'm not doing my job properly. People thought that was a luxury, when it's really not a luxury. That's a basic right for a girl to feel comfortable on the pitch. That's what's important. We are currently in the golden years of football. This is a huge opportunity coming forth. I definitely see myself in this game. I can't imagine myself anywhere else.
I'm fantastic. Hey. Are you ready for the game? Oh yeah. This is my sister Alex, as you can tell, she's the older one because she's shorter.
To me, that's the end goal. If I've got a girl doing something in this game, that's a win. To make sure that every girl can go on that field with no barrier. That's a major win.
Are the girls here yet?
Not yet.
All right.
They're coming.
So I hope everyone enjoyed that video. It's one of many stories about women and girls within our game that are really changing the game. Angelica is one of the youngest female administrators working across our sport, so it's fantastic to see her in that position, and really profiling her on a national scale is something that we're looking at doing. So with that being said, if there's any stories of amazing women and girls within your game, please share them with us. We want to make sure that we're telling them on a regular basis, and we're really starting to break down those barriers and transform the way that women and girls see themselves being involved in our game. So obviously we have this opportunity. We have 58 days to go, I believe. I do have a countdown clock on my phone, just to make sure if anyone asks me, I know what the number is. We have 58 days to really ensure that our clubs are in the best possible position come World Cup time. Karen spoke about the number of women and girls that are going to be inspired by watching not just the Matildas, but all of the women during the World Cup. So we really need to make sure that our clubs are prepared, that the first experience of football is a positive one. We know that experience is multifaceted. You know, there are a lot of different components to that, whether that is the facilities, the environment that we have around them, the coaching. So really it's about taking that multifaceted approach to the work that you do and for us to be able to support that through our Game Changer programs as well as our Changemaker programs. Whilst we talk about the attraction, we know that there's going to be 1 billion viewers in this World Cup worldwide. There's going to be 1.5 million spectators across the two countries, so there's going to be a huge amount of awareness and interest on our game in Australia. Whilst that's going to lead to a lot of attraction within the sport, there's also this need for us to consider retention. And retention is really what we're talking about when we talk about sustainable change. So again, it's thinking about those two different components when it comes to your club, thinking about different strategies revolved around those two components to really ensure that we create that long-lasting legacy. So my last call to action is really about what is one little thing, or it can be a big thing, one little or big thing that you yourself are going to do over the next 58 days in order to help us be in the best possible position come World Cup time. So I hope you all have a bit of a think about that tonight. Hopefully the rest of the presentation sparks some ideas. Happy to have a chat afterwards as well and answer any questions. But really challenge yourselves in terms of what is that one thing that we can all work on collectively together that will build that bigger picture and make sure that we really strive towards 50-50. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone again, I'm Sue Collins and I'm the Head of Equity at Football Victoria. My role mandate is really quite clear. It's 50-50 by 2027. And as we all know, football's a team sport, so we're all in the same game together and we're all going to have to contribute to that 50-50. So we've actually got a number of things that we can come together to achieve that with. And we've got some tools to assist you in doing that. So my role tonight is to ensure that you know all of the things that are available to you to help you to achieve the things you can at your club. So, first and foremost, what is our game plan? It's to support the clubs that are in our state to ensure that you can achieve the best possible outcomes that you can for your teams, for your players, and to achieve our 50-50. So we've put a whole load of resources together on our website, and you can find that at Football Victoria in the, on the homepage and go into our game plan. Now, there's some suggested first steps for you all, and this is really, really important. Nominate an Our Game champion. It's really simple. You can find someone at your club. It might be someone that has been in your club from the time that they were at Mini-Roos. It might be a junior player that's now in the senior team. It might be a player that started playing and is now a coach at your club. It could be an administrator. It could be a team manager, someone on the board. It might be just someone who's so passionate about female football at your club that they can be your game champion. So please go onto the website and nominate your game champion, and then they can be the person that can assist you in achieving those goals. Make them stand up and be enjoying the ability to be that game champion. I think we've actually got one here tonight that's actually a legacy player from a club, I believe. I can see one up the back there. I know a little bit about that one. So that's really lovely. That's a lovely story, a legacy player that is now the club's game champion. And these are all the stories that we can share with each other to enable us to continue to grow. So there's some other items that are also on the website to assist you. Promoting and developing female leaders. So in that particular tab, there are some opportunities for you to sign up for various different courses. So there's coaching courses specifically for females. There's also referee courses specifically for females. Go in and express your interest and ensure that anyone that is at your club has the opportunity to be involved in those course opportunities. Make sure that you've signed up. Any of those ones that are actually in there gives us the ability to then put courses on in those areas for you. If you're not in there, we can't then look at putting those courses on in that area. So please do go in and nominate your expression of interest so that we can get those courses in those places for you. Register for Changemakers. That's another great opportunity for clubs to do a really deep dive. And when I say a deep dive, it gives you the chance to have a look at what really makes your club work. You might think that you are the most welcoming club for females, but when you actually go through the process of Changemakers, you might actually find that there are things that you're doing at your club that aren't quite as welcoming as you think. So it gives you the chance to have a look, to really unpack how you're doing things at your club to make you have the best possible opportunities to make you attractive for young women and young children to come along and play at your club. So it's a really great opportunity. We've got a number of cohorts that are starting. We have one on Wednesday that starts, and then we have another cohort that will be starting in a month or so's time. So please do register for that. It's a great opportunity. It's a free opportunity, and you're working with academics through Vic Uni, and it's a great chance for you to really learn and understand about how your club operates, and gives you some great tools to be able to make change. Again, nominate an Our Game champion, and there's also opportunities on the site there to sign up for the Club Coach Coordinator program. That's another great chance for you to be able to build on opportunities at your club as well. So please do go on and use all of these tools that we've put together to help you. Grow participation. One of the most important things that we've all got to do. Now, I think the problem we've had is traditionally we've always thought that that was by putting a mini roos team together, or a junior team together, or a senior team together. It's so much bigger than that. One of the most important things we can do is make football accessible, and sometimes that means we've got to make it a social opportunity. So put on various different opportunities for girls and women to come to your club. Make it welcoming. Give them the opportunity to come along and try football in a Go Girls environment. Or if you need to, join with a couple of local clubs and put on 3-on-3 or 5-a-side or 7-a-side. You don't have to keep everything in the same format as we've done before. We can do things differently. And that's how we're going to get people involved in our game. We've already talked about futsal. Futsal is an incredibly great opportunity to bring young girls and women into the game inside if they don't like the idea of playing outside. And we've got all these great chances to actually bring them in, and we've got all sorts of go opportunities that we're going to bring out this year as well. Walking football is another great opportunity for people that perhaps are a little slower, like myself, that don't want to run around quite so quickly anymore. So there's lots of walking football opportunities around, and that is another opportunity that you can bring to your club as well. And I've been out and seen a number of walking football programs that have been run, and they're great fun, and they're social opportunities. And sometimes those social opportunities turn into volunteers. There can be where your coaches are actually sourced from, and more importantly, your connections to more girls and women that come through your club. So please do look at all of those opportunities that are on the website. You can click on each of the different ones to get information and sign up for those programs, and my team will help you with that, with whatever you want to do. We've talked a little bit about the female-only courses. It's really key. A number of women would prefer to learn in a safe environment where it's just with them. So we give you the opportunity to sign up to do that. So please do, on those tabs, step in, fill out the information so that we can upskill and provide you with those tools to be able to improve. We've also, through the signing up to be Our Game champion or coming to any of the events or programs that we run, we also have the Our Game Network newsletter here in Victoria, which we started our first copy in May. And I really encourage all of you to send me the stories so that we can actually start making this a really incredible piece of literature that goes out, that shares your news, that shares your stories, but it's an educational piece. I'm hoping that we can build on this so that every month that you get access to information to help you grow opportunities at your club, but more importantly, get access to information that will make life easier for you, and perhaps even some early access to special events as well. So please do sign up for the newsletter, and please don't be shy. I want to hear from all of you. Send your information in, share your stories, and tell me what you want to know as well. So make sure that you tell us what you're missing, and we will ensure that we provide you that information as well. Okay, I think that's probably... Has anyone got any questions on that? You all good? Awesome.
Thank you, clubs, for being here today. My name is Josephine Lapilla. I'm the Club Development Program Manager for Football Victoria. Not sure how to access the Game Changer Club Development Program? It's quite easy. Complete the Women and Girls module in Football Victoria in the Game Plan portal. Complete your action plan. Send your action plan to Football Victoria. Football Victoria will approve your action plan, and then we'll send that off to Football Australia. Football Australia will then award your club with a Star 1 certificate. Game Changer overview so far here in Victoria. We have 1 star clubs. We've got 22 at the moment. Clubs registered on Game Plan portal is 117 clubs. Registered since the 1st of January is 105 clubs. Completed Women and Girls module is 52 clubs. Completed any other modules since the 1st of January is 1st of January 2023 is 58 clubs. So therefore we need more clubs to really get on board and start our Game Women and Girls module, so we can actually go out there and help clubs implement an action plan for the next 12 months. On the board, what you see is all the clubs that have received a 1-star club. The following clubs have completed the Women and Girls Action Plan with Football Victoria. Football Victoria acknowledges other clubs that have completed the module but are waiting to be seen by an FE staff member. We thank you for your time and patience in completing the Women and Girls module, and we'll be out in full force in the next month. Our commitment to you. Football Australia and Football Victoria committed to supporting clubs to improve the quality of participation experience for women and girls and establish positive playing environments for all to play. Assisting clubs to provide leadership opportunities for women to become coaches, match officials, administrators, volunteers and committee members. Supporting clubs to activate social programs for women and girls to play in a non-competitive format and increase participation through the fun-based activations that also build confidence and skills. Football Australia and Football Victoria wish to thank your club's dedication and commitment to equity through the development of women and girls in football. I'd like to now introduce you to Laura Jones and Angelo from Football Australia.
Thank you, Josie, and thank you everyone for all of your time and dedication to your clubs, and also for coming tonight to represent the Game Changer program and your work within the women and girls space. From my perspective, I am so excited and super proud to be leading the Game Changer program nationally at Football Australia, with Grace and Angelo also in the team as well. It's something that's super positive and a huge vehicle that we can use to drive change off the back of the Women's World Cup. And the program, it's based off the former NCDP, National Club Development Program, but it is broken down into bite-sized modules that facilitate and aid you as club members, as volunteers, to work on your club environments through stages that best assist your resources and your growth on the ground. It doesn't matter if you're a small-sized club, if you're a powerhouse with super resources and mass participation. It rewards and recognises you as the individual and your work and success throughout the program. In terms of when launching the club, we understand that you as volunteers have so much on your plates already. You're busy, you have your lives in and outside of football, and we don't want to add to your workload and stresses. This program is here to guide you, to support you, and also to recognise and hero you as the champions of not only female football, but everything you do off the field to make your environment and experience for those that play on the pitch, are better for the... Sorry, my words are getting very mumbled. So in terms of you the club, what's in it for you? Whilst there is a reward and recognition suite associated with Game Changer, and yes, there are tangible assets and rewards, recognition, grants, facilities as well. For us at Football Australia and for Football Vic, it's about aligning you to the same strategic goals that better help us facilitate you on the ground. If you have a look on the screen, it's the data that's coming through the Game Changer platform that provides valuable insights to us as to what clubs want, what clubs need, and how we can best facilitate and support you moving forward. Through the Game Changer Women and Girls module, we've had around 100 clubs go through the 1-star and 400 clubs on their way. And from that, we're seeing 5 major key points or areas that they would like focus on and support. First being growth, second female leadership, strategy, events, and volunteers. And through the Game Changer platform, we are able to assist you in action planning to hit each of these milestones, plus align you to the strategic goals of Football Vic and Football Australia. By us gaining oversight as to what you're doing, how you're doing it as well, we can then align your timeframes to align with things like government grants, sponsorship proposals, media opportunities, Female Football Week, Volunteer Week, major activations and milestones that help leverage your pitch on the ground, and also for us for national oversight. We understand that clubs might be doing this already, and for you it's validation. Are you aligning to the strategic goals? Can we celebrate and hero you within other states, territories? Can we provide you with grant support and further funding to help network and boost up the other clubs that may need more help and support? So it's a really valuable program to get a hold of. It's a really valuable program to assess where you're up to, and also to ignite and inspire you to try things a little differently. So Angelo and I, having national oversight, we thought we'd take you through a 3-phase series, particularly focused around the World Cup. And as we said, we have national oversight, so the action plan's coming through. This is a bit of a showcase as what clubs all around Australia are planning. So pre-World Cup, the situation we're in now, how can you leverage the World Cup from now to the 20th of July to get the most out of your participation, referees, coaches, club environment, club culture? Female Football Week, we're currently right in the middle. Hands up who's activating Female Football Week. Brilliant, that's what we like. Well done. Excellent. Hands up who activated Volunteer Week last week. Yeah, excellent, well done. So a big point for Volunteer Week. Last week, Football Australia partnered with the Australian Sports Commission on the Volunteer Action Coalition Plan, and that's a 4-year plan that's changing the insights and minds of volunteers on the ground. So next Monday night, if you haven't registered, we'll be hosting a volunteer webinar showcasing some fabulous clubs that are changing the mindset and adopting new ways to approach volunteers. One club that we'll be heroing is, has anyone heard of the Duke of Edinburgh Award? Yeah? They're pushing for their under-16s teams to undergo the Duke of Edinburgh Award, and a key component of that is 100 hours of community service. So there's 16-year-olds actually being the coaches for next season for all of their under-8s, leaving the parents to hopefully dedicate their time to committee members or whatever it may be. So that's how they're using that program, not just in a school environment, but through their club. So different ways to change things as well. We'll be hosting referee forums, Female Football Week strategies, and different participation initiatives as well.
So what we've seen with the national data is, in the action plans coming through, is that clubs are doing some really good stuff to lead up to the World Cup. So the pre-World Cup things that you might be able to do are World Cup sweepstakes. You may be able to get teams to jump on board. You get one team for your club, per country, and all of a sudden everyone's cheering that country as a second team. So they're getting more invested in the World Cup. They might watch their game more than they might not normally do. You might be able to do social media initiatives as well, where you can do hero messages to the Matildas. So during the Matildas matches throughout the last few months and of last year, we were getting kids to write messages for them, which would be coming up onto the hotel rooms when they do play in the World Cup. But what you could do as a club is to get all your young players or even the older players to do some hero messages. Say, congratulations, good luck, hope for the best, you're going to win, blah, blah, blah. And you can tag the Matildas in there. You can tag our game. And then you might even be posted up, you might be shared. You can get your club some free promotion straight away. You get your kids on social media, and all of a sudden they're going to go, hey, I was in this national platform. We did nothing other than, hey, good luck to blah, 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 right? There's a unity beat with FIFA as well that's coming up recently, where you've got to promote the unity beat and you've got to record yourselves in your club and then you get to win a prize. So, most clubs are trying to appoint a female football champion. We saw Angelica Giorgopoulos in there. I've met her before, and my niece is actually playing in that club. and I've seen what she's done as a club. As an 18-year-old, she was leading women and girls football. That's incredible to see an 18-year-old, let alone a female doing it for the first time. You know, someone leading the way, leading change in the community. You know, clubs are running female football festivals, which is a big rock to do, but it's something that they want to do. They want to help build the World Cup. They want to help people go, I want to play football more. I want to see more football. I want to be a country for a different team this time around, and I want to play more football. And some clubs are trying to do jersey days, where they might make everyone say, you know, wear green or gold or yellow for one training night, where everyone, the whole field is a sea of green and gold. You know, so again, it just gets people more excited about the World Cup.
So during the World Cup, at the moment, a key, I guess, eligibility access or rewards and recognition is Game Changer clubs would be offered the opportunity to put forward flag bearers for the FIFA Women's World Cup matches. So it's an amazing opportunity, and opportunities like this for even the Matildas match coming down in July, the Miniroos mascots, the halftime heroes, etc., will be pushed through the Game Changer program as a reward and recognition. So that's something that is becoming available for during the World Cup. But have a think about what can you strategically do that enhances using the momentum of the World Cup as a reward, recognition or retention strategy within your club. Would you like to host a watch party that is a hero and thank you for your key committee members or volunteers? Our club's being open and active. Us at Football Australia will be hosting a huge Play Football game online that drives people to the Our Game website, and in turn we need clubs open and active and ready to receive new women and girls, whether that's a come and try experience, whether that's futsal, whether that's programs. What can you run that opens your doors to the public, where it's very different with the Men's World Cup last year, where it was off season, so a lot of clubs weren't open, facilities weren't accessed. How can we leverage this opportunity with you being open and active on the ground to welcome new players and then transition them into the registration period next year?
Yeah, I mean, some more ideas we can have during the World Cup. And obviously during that time, it's a very busy period. But things like social media activations you can do, where you can have people doing online polls. Who was your player of the match? So our club player of the match was this, and you tag Our Game, you tag Matildas. Again, you might get national recognition, you might get shared on social media. You know, you can get players to reenact special moments they found at the World Cup. Does everyone remember the Alex Morgan tea drinking celebration? Imagine seeing a bunch of your kids in your club kit on a weekend. They score a goal and they do something similar that Sam Kerr did. Or they go out in the backyard and do a bicycle kick that Sam Kerr scored. So do something like that to really get them involved in the World Cup. See themselves up there in the big screen as well as seeing their heroes. So it's things like that. You want to find a way to make it easy for yourselves because it is a busy time. So during the World Cup, you might want to do more of the easy stuff. It's more the pre and post. You want to think about what other activities can we do? What other things can we run? You know, during the World Cup, the harder thing you might be able to do is fan festivals. You might take a group of players to the fan festival. Come out, support your club. You can wear your club colours and support Matilda at the same time. Or you can support another country as well. So it's about getting people more involved and be part of football more than just playing a game in winter.
And the last one is post-World Cup, and this really relates to the action planning within Game Changer for longer-term success and using those big boulders essentially within your female strategy to move forward. A key part of the World Cup is that we will get a huge momentum, lots of influx and interest within football, but with the registration system potentially not opening till 2024 for our traditional winter season, how do we retain that interest? Is it pop-up programs? Is it futsal? Is it coaching accreditations? Is it referee courses? What have you access to within your club environments? Or if you do need help and support, flag it through the Game Changer program, and us at Football Australia and Football Vic can try and help fill that void for clubs moving forward. So think of those long-term things and strategies. Even now, what would you like to implement for your 2024 season? Do you have showcase matches? Why are women always the curtain raiser potentially in some of your matches? Do you have equal access to facilities or fields with lights? Do you rotate your men's and women's competitions? Things like that just spark change, and particularly the women and girls module, it's about sparking interest in change or creative thinking. I think one of the other questions in there is, do you run a social media tile such as Instagram? Out of your last 10 posts, how many were related to females? And you'll be surprised by how many just within the mindset, it just doesn't actually occur towards that female skew. So you can't be what you can't see, and getting that female leadership and mentorship of planning for strategy and change now for next year is something super important that the Game Changer program will assist you to provoke ideas and thoughts through the resources, but also the module as well.
Yeah, and as Laura has mentioned, it's about getting people in for 2024, but the timing of the World Cup, it's about us getting these programs in place to sort of like a holding pattern where you've got them in your club, with your club, so by the time the winter comes up, you've got a program ready to go that they're ready to sign for winter football. So things like mini Roos kickoff programs, where Michael over here runs for Football Victoria, he can help run that. You contact him through Josephine. He can help run these programs at your club, and then all of a sudden you've got a group of brand new players coming in. And then, if you've got summer football at your club, fantastic. Even if you don't, you can have teams from your club joining another club summer football. So they're wearing your club colours and then they come join you in winter, rather than always thinking, I can't host summer football, but you might be able to host a summer football team. Same with futsal, put them in the futsal team together. So Ghost Soccer Mums and the Go Girls program, same thing. So all these social programs, these flexible programs, you can have in place while you're waiting for the winter football registrations to come in the new year.
Okay, we are delighted to have Dennis from Moreland United. Please approach the chair in front of her. Also Nick from Yarraville Glory FC and David from Essendon Royals. So Dennis, your club has been on a journey fighting hard for your women and girls programs. Can you please share your story?
I was a player at Moreland from probably 2018 when I started playing there, and then I got approached to be part of the committee later on. I was still enjoying playing, so I didn't want to be involved at that sort of level of the game. But then I did take up that position as a president, started last year. Now, when I came on, it's probably fair to say that I had no prior experience in that level of the game. I had no clue about the inclusion or the diversity of the game as well. It's probably fair to say as well that it is, I've grown up, being in a sport which is probably male dominated. So I had no idea about the importance of females being involved in the game. And then I think Sue mentioned it before as well, about when you think that you are welcoming and everybody is welcome to the club, it's probably the least. You think that you are welcoming and everybody is welcome to the club, but then when you start to sort of look at every aspect or different angles of what your club's actually offering, you start to realise you're actually very far behind. And I think that's sort of, that made me realise that, and probably being involved in that sort of level made me understand a bit more. And then obviously with Josephine, we got working. Late last year, we were approached by Moreland City Council. I don't know if there's any people from the council, but basically because we failed to field the females team last year, we're halfway through. Basically, we pulled the pin on actually having a females team. Because of just not having numbers and not being able to retain the numbers. They approached us last year and said, well, you've basically breached the conditions and the policy of the council, and as such, we will be taking the ground off you guys, and we would like to basically pick up all your stuff and leave the ground. So, we were sort of, we've been there for the last 25 years, and all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, they've just told us to pack up our stuff and leave. And we got working, and very well. We've been working since September last year to now, basically. Long story short, basically in that that space of time from this year to now, we've managed to be able to put two girls teams together, two junior girl teams, under 10s and under 8s, and we're still getting inquiries. We're still having girls come through our club, and I can tell you that the last year and a half that I've actually been involved in that sort of level, it's just sort of made me understand the importance of actually having females part of the club and actually start to look at different ways to be able to invite, junior girls and just females all around into the club. The social importance, the environment that they sort of bring, and the atmosphere that they bring to the club. It's something that as a player, I didn't really sort of look at it, didn't really consider it. But then, being on the other side now, you actually understand the importance. So, Game Changer has really sort of opened my eyes personally, and I've been able to take that and give that to the committee at the club. And it's something that we are slowly working through, but we are getting some changes, and it's a positive change. So. Here we are, and that's probably our story and how we got here. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Dennis. I must say it's been a pleasure working with you, Dennis, and I look forward to our continued working relationship. So well done, mate. Thank you. Nick, how are you? Your club has made a commitment to invest in junior girls and women. Can you tell us why this is so important to your club and to our game? How has FE and the new Game Changer action plan assisted you with your key objective at Yarraville Glory?
Thank you. I've recently returned back to the game after taking a long stint off and doing stuff in the corporate world. And late last year, I returned to Yarraville Glory after coaching a little bit at George Cross and so forth. And I couldn't believe the club rooms and facilities. It was so geared towards the old school male mentality that had grown up at the club and the community that we supported back when I was a junior and so forth. So with Jim and Josephine's help, we embarked on changing the culture down at Yarraville. And it was extremely important. The simplest explanation around why you should do it, just the commercial side, I'll get to the most important one, but just the commercial side, more women gives you 50% of the population that you can sell your programs to, bring people to participate, get more referees, get more coaches, get more board members. We all fight for council facilities, or the majority of us do that fight for council facilities. Better utilisation of those facilities makes that job a lot easier. We've been lucky at Yarraville with the changes that we've made. We've been able to get specific sponsors of our female programs who have just come on board to support female growth in our teams. But the most important reason why you should make the change is what I have growing up with football. I want my daughter to have. I want my daughter plays with in the under-16s at Yarraville. I've got a community of friends that are lifelong friends. Yarraville for me is my family club. I grew up there. My dad was there. I went and watched Yarraville. I watched South games on Sunday. It was my life. I've got a passion about the game. I've got a passion about the club. I want my daughter, the same way as my boys have got, the same passion about the game, the same passion about the club, because that's the only way we'll get true equity in the game, is to actually have that. In terms of the Game Changer program, so I'm a GM of commercial strategy at a major energy company. Worked at an executive level for the last, 15 years. The Game Changer program, and if you haven't done it, do it. It makes life so much easier. We've done the surveys. We've got our 1-star, we've got one module, but it makes business planning a lot easier. For us, we've gone from a club with one board member that was female, which was largely a tokenised female. I mean, you came and you met her, Josephine, and she's fantastic. She works really hard. But in the old president structure, that old Greek structure that was there, it was just a filling a role. We've now got 4 female committee members. So we've got 25% of our board is female. Female clubs have gone from 1 team to 4 teams. Female participation was sitting at 25% from 10%. We've got soccer mums going. We Go Girls is launching soon. We do all those things. But the most important thing that I think we do, and we sent out a newsletter saying equity and equality are not the same things. Equity is around actually creating the right opportunities, creating a culture where you actually will give females an advantage to catch up to males, to actually get true equality. And that's what we're trying to change, that culture at the club. So, yeah, it's been a good journey, start of a journey, but long way to go.
Well done, Yarraville Glory FC. And also, it also prepares you for your master plan that's going to happen very soon at Mackay Reserve. There's also some new infrastructure being built for residents to move into the area, so they'll be in a well position to cater for the growth and demand of football in the region. So well done, Yarraville. David, Essendon Royals FC has been a stellar example of a commitment to equity, achieving 33% female participation to date. What advice would you offer on where to start and why it's important for clubs to prioritise equity?
Thanks, Joe. When I came to Essendon Royals 20 years ago, we had absolutely zero female participation. Our last female senior team was in 2000, and then we didn't have another one until 2014. And that happened by virtue of some girls who were sisters of players whose father was a coach, started an under-14s team. And that grew into being a women's state league team. And just organically, it's grown with people around the club and friends of those girls coming down and playing. About 12 years ago when I got involved in the committee, one of the things we set about doing was setting our philosophy, what we wanted to be as a club. And the simple statement was that we wanted to be a club of choice in our area. And that didn't mean being better than other clubs. It meant being the best that we could be. And we set about doing that by setting up our technical direction as a start. How do we want to teach kids to play? How do we want to treat people around the club? And just finding people who aligned with that philosophy and putting them in positions where they could go and do their work. And we found through that kids have come. We've also been fortunate in our area around Moonee Valley. There's a lot of younger families moving in. The demographic has really changed over the last 20 to 30 years. So we've got a great pool of people to draw from. But building up women's and girls program, it changes the outlook of the club. We talk about in our club, in our mission statement, as part of that is being family. Well, if it's only blokes there, it's not much of a family. You want your wives and your daughters and your aunties and your grandmothers. And we've started looking at even going back to the past and honouring the people who have been around in the past. Our honour boards in the club for the first sort of 50 years of the club were very blokey. It's the guys who were the presidents and the secretaries who were the senior coaches, long-standing players. And we started going back and finding the mums who were there every Sunday manning the canteen, who took the kids home and washed them, who brought the kids to training while the dads were drinking beer at the bar, all those things. The people honouring the commitment that those people made to the club, which was never recognised by the people around the club. And from there we've gone on to just saying to people who come into the club, you are a Royals player. Male, female, doesn't matter. You all get the same, you all look the same, and you're all treated the same. We want an under-8 girls team to have exactly the same opportunity as we give any other kid in the club. So they get the same training facilities, they get the same coaching, they get the same philosophy, they all wear the same gear. Joe was at our club last Tuesday and I was showing her we had a young girls team coming off the pitch, all in their training gear, walking past our senior VPL women, wearing the same training gear. They all look the same. So they walk past and they go, oh, I'm one of them. And then we try to involve those girls with our senior match day. Our senior men and senior women both play Friday nights, alternate weeks. That's the big night at the club. Everyone comes down. Everyone supports the men, supports the women. We try and get the boys and girls involved with those senior match teams. They do guard of honour. They'll be ball girls and ball boys around the ground. It makes them feel part of the process. And they see older girls who are moving up. Now there's girls who are 15 and 16 who are part of our senior makeup. I think it just creates an environment where they feel like we're not just here as an also-ran, but we are part of the family. We are part of the group. And I think that's been very important for us, and it's really changed the outlook of the club. And I think, I was saying to the guys before, you get some of those old boys down to the club to watch the senior females play, and it takes them about 10 minutes till they forget about it. They come down and think, oh, this is going to be girls' football, kick and giggle, blah, blah, blah. 10 minutes later, they're looking at you going, oh man, they play football. They play football. It's glorious to see that you see the change in people's attitude when they see the girls knocking the ball around and they just go, oh, I'm coming back. That's been our way.
Thank you, Dennis, Nick and David, for sharing your story with us, and thank you once again.